So, back for some more tales of the end of the world. Well, I got a good one for you this week, folks. Woohoo! That was close. A colossal asteroid just came by. It narrowly missed the Earth and smashed up the moon instead. Well, no reason to be cheerful, for without the moon, we could be just as doomed. Just look at that moon. Isn't it lovely? But beware, the moon isn't just there to entertain us. Without the moon, we could all be doomed. There's always the small but alarming possibility that some dreadful cataclysm takes out the moon. Some billions of years ago, this almost happened. On one terrible day, a vast comet struck the moon, carving out what is now known as the biggest impact crater of the entire solar system. The Aitken Basin, a huge 2,500 kilometers wide scar on the moon's south pole. Okay, but what's the big deal, you ask? Well, not too many people know this, but the moon is what keeps our planet stable. Without it, we would find ourselves on a hostile rollercoaster world. Our planet would go berserk. For one thing, the moon tugs at the oceans, and that gives us the tides. No moons, and the floods would immediately be about 2 to 5 times higher. Some minor tidal motion would remain because the sun pulls at the oceans as well. The consequences would be dramatic. Many fertile deltas would dry right up. Other areas would become permanently flooded. There would be all kinds of changes to nature all over the world. People would face droughts, famines, diseases, and wars. And to cheer you up a little bit more, that's not the worst part. Crucially, the moon also stabilizes the axis around which the Earth rotates. You can compare the Earth-Moon system to an athlete swinging a hammer around. Take a good look at this picture. Now ask yourself, what would happen if the rope suddenly snapped? You get the idea. The athlete would fall right over. Exactly the same thing would happen to the Earth if you took away the moon. Right now, our planet rotates at an axis that is tilted about 23 degrees. It has always been roughly the same. But without the moon, the Earth's rotational axis would slowly drift off because of the pull of the other planets, especially Venus and Jupiter. So one moment you're in Africa, the next you're in the North Pole. On the long road, this would cause massive, unpredictable, and abrupt climate shifts. The Earth would heat up, freeze up, and heat up again. One moment your nose freezes off in a massive ice age, the next you find yourself sweating out your eyeballs in a period of soaring heat. Even worse, our planet could tip over and lie on its back for some millions of years or longer. One half of the globe would be in constant sunlight, the other half would be plunged into everlasting darkness and cold. We have a two-sided planet, and to be honest, you probably don't want to live on either side. The southern half would be a barren, waterless, roasted desert world, and the northern half would be an equally barren, dried-up, ultra-cold ice world. So you decide to live between the sunny and the icy side. There you might find a small zone with good old days and nights and mild temperatures. But wait, there's a downside. The region will be harassed by huge, everlasting storms. With temperature differences like that, there would be massive flows of air between the north and the south. And actually, that's not even the biggest concern. For chances are the massive, abrupt climate shifts will at some point kill our world altogether. With the moon gone, our world becomes a lifeless, dead planet in the end. The sweeping climate shifts could at some point disrupt the Earth's atmosphere for good. This is probably what happened to Mars, once watery and friendly, but now as dead as a doornail. Mars indeed tilts like a drunken athlete. It tips over to about 60 degrees. And that's not everything. When the moon gets smashed up or marked off course by a super big asteroid, it'll probably rain debris all over the Earth for many years. For years we'd have to wear hard hats, only to find that the hard hats don't help against anything big, incoming chunks of moon rock falling down on our world. Howling at the moon. Still, there's some good news, too. According to some doomed prophets, without the moon, our planet would start spinning wildly like a whipped top. A day and night on Earth would last only an established 4 to 8 hours. And we would have a huge apocalyptic storms, tens, even thousands of times stronger than anyone has ever seen on Earth, and each one of them lasting many, many years. Cities and forests would be flattened. Agriculture would become impossible. Unfortunately, the Doom prophets say they got it wrong this time. The moon has slowed down the rotation of our planet for good. The moon puts the brakes on our planet because the tides serve like a sort of counterweight. Over the billions of years, this has slowed down the rotation and the speed of the Earth. If some rogue black hole suddenly snatched away the moon, our planet wouldn't suddenly start to whirl. It would in fact even slow down more because of the sun's pull. Another often heard but wrong horror scenario is that the moon is about to leave us for good. Indeed, the moon is leaving us bye-bye very, very slowly. It creeps away from us inch by inch, year by year. The moon flies off at the speed of which fingernails grow, 3.8 centimeters per year. But that doesn't mean that the moon will be lost into space eventually. Calculations show that in about 15 billion years' time, the moon's orbit would stabilize at a distance of about 640,000 kilometers. If you looked up from our planet, you would notice the disk of the moon was much smaller than it is right now, only about 3/4 of its present size. Not that you'd be here looking at the moon. Within 5 billion years or so, the Earth would become a dead, inhabitable world because the sun would have swallowed us already by then. But that's another video. So all in all, next time you see that lovely moon up there, better be grateful. For now, things are just the right way they are. No sweeping storms, no ice age, no falling over of the Earth. Let's hope it'll stay that way for quite some time.